It is time for your WIN podcast for super busy professionals sharing transformational moments. Your host, Chu Tang.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Your Win Podcast, episode 2. This is going to be a very special one because I have my godson here, Conn, and he's very dear to my heart. And I have not heard of this story before. So I promise that I will stay unemotional. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Aunt Chu. So today's story I'd like to bring you is my revelation of financial independence and financial freedom. As a young child, there was a lot of arguing and tension in my upbringing when it came to finances in particular. Despite the best efforts of my family, raising 5 children on a single income is rather difficult. And so finances were very often a hot topic. And so coming up as a young child, I decided that I didn't want to have to struggle with finances as an adult. And I didn't want my children to have to experience the same difficulties in life when it came to finances. So I started as soon as I got my first job saving money. And my total goal was, no matter what, never have debt and always have enough money to be able to survive on my own and cover all my needs. As I progressed in my career, I joined the military, essentially straight out of high school. And so income wasn't immense. I wasn't making a lot of money, but I also was making sure I wasn't spending too much money, always weighing the benefit to the cost and making sure that it was a logical purchase. This was the case all the way up until after I had purchased my first car.
Wow.
As a young and ignorant to the way that the financial system works, young man, I thought that making minimum payments meant that you were making progress toward having your vehicle or whatever you purchased paid off. Well, as it would turn out, minimum payments means that you're accruing the interest as you pay the principal. And so when I went to trade in my first vehicle that I had for a new vehicle that I wanted, I ended up owing money on the vehicle, and I just couldn't comprehend it.
Wow.
And so did some research and realized the way that interest works in conjunction with taking on a loan. And I then decided, once again, I'm never going to make that mistake. I don't ever want to have where I end up owing more than something that I possess is worth. And so from that point, I started, anytime that I would make a purchase, I would pay it off very quickly. And I continued to save all my money, always weighing the benefit of making a purchase versus spending the money on it. And so after about 5 years of being in the military, I owned the vehicle that I wanted. It was fully paid off. I had over $50,000 saved in my account, which I thought was pretty amazing. I had no debts.
Yes.
And I had very, very minimal financial expenditures like car insurance and internet, cellular bill. But then I went to buy my first house.
Wow.
I realized just how ignorant I still was to the whole system when I purchased my house, and I put $50,000 down on that, and I still owed money to the bank, and it was still going to be a 15 to 30 year process to pay that down. So at this point, I realized that making a large down payment on a purchase isn't always the best idea, especially if it puts you in a financial tight spot, because now you don't have liquid assets that you can spend on, furniture or food or whatever you might need. But my next major revelation, despite all of the advice of people whenever I was growing up, you have lots of mentors or adults all around you that say, make sure you're investing, make sure you're saving
Mhm.
towards your retirement. But no one really ever, in my case,
Mhm.
explained what that meant and
Mhm.
provided a good structure for me to be able to do that and facilitate that, or provide me a very good understanding of what that meant exactly. And really all it means, to make it very, very simple, is as young as possible, determine how much money that you need to live off of, and then a little bit extra to do the things that you enjoy doing. Anything else that you don't need, you
Mhm.
also don't need to spend it. You can invest it, put it
Mhm.
into an account, something that will grow for you financially, something that has a return. And so whether it's stock market, IRA, in
Oh,
some
wow.
cases for some people, a savings account's a good idea. But if you're living within your means well enough, then you should be able to contribute into something that has a growth potential. And after about 13 years of being in the military, that's when I finally realized what the stock market was and what investments that grow for you are. And so I started contributing to that. And
Mhm.
I really, really wish I had done it earlier. If you have someone telling you, anyone that's listening, if you have someone telling you that you need to invest in a retirement fund, they're looking out for you. They may not be conveying it to you very well. So if you
Mm.
need to seek a financial mentor or just talk to someone that is more privy to how the system works,
Mhm.
essentially, when you're holding on to money due to inflation, that money in your checking account, in your savings account, it will lose value as time progresses, no matter what. You will not get that value back. So you paid taxes on that money already if it's sitting
Mhm.
there. You can spend it when you want, but next year, the money that you have right now is worth less than it was in the present. So if you start investing, contributing, allowing that money to grow, it will grow with you and it will bring you benefit in the future rather than making losses in the present. So
Wow.
but yeah, that was my next major revelation. And so where I'm at right now, I'm not 100% certain on the the methods that I would like to use to get to my end financial goal. I
Mhm.
definitely would like to have to where my investments grow at a rate that I can live comfortably off of, and I don't ever have to worry about working. At that
Mm.
point, if I don't have to worry about making enough income off of my job and I'm just living off of my investments, then I can really do what I want professionally, individually. And if I elect to be a community servant, then I could do that. Or if I elect to be a company CEO, I can really strive toward that. It's very freeing to have that financial freedom and the ability to determine what vector you'd like to take in your life path.
Wow. I wish I knew that when I was your age. Yeah, thank you so much. This is very, very informational. Yeah. So how does it make you feel right now?
So I'm not exactly where I would like to be. I'm progressing toward my goal, but
Mhm.
as far as how I feel very comfortable financially. I feel no strain or no stress when it comes to can I afford my bills for the next 5 years, 10 years. It's definitely it's liberating, and I know
It's
for a lot of
liberating.
people
Yeah.
there's
Mhm.
a lot of stress that comes with their financial state, whether or not they can afford their bills, and I think a lot
Mhm.
of that it boils down to it's such a compounding effect financially when you consider spending habits of making small purchases and
Mhm.
only spending a little bit of money on several things throughout the year. If you really consider how much you're spending on it, as an example,
Mm.
a subscription to your favorite streaming service or a subscription to your favorite magazine, it's not costing you a lot, but when you compound it with all of the other expenses that you have,
Yeah.
how much is it really costing you, all of the things in total? And so a small excess in spending early on can really build to a huge excess of spending
Mm.
later in the future, compounding on prior spending habits and then also your you're essentially evaporating your funds and you're not able to really grow it. So you stay in that perpetual state of
Oh,
a lack of financial stability. So, but yeah, right now I'm very comfortable financially where I'm at. I could be better.
mhm.
But I feel like anyone that is in the same mindset would always stay at, no matter what, is no matter how
Mhm.
much funds you have, you could always be better. But are
Yes.
you happy
Mhm.
with it? And I would say yes, I am happy financially where I'm at.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on. And everyone, I hope that you have a wonderful day.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share. See you soon at Your Win Podcast.